Ambassador Zixathala of the Meridian Collective had witnessed the fall of 17 civilizations in her 3-century career. She had seen mighty empires crumble before natural disasters, watched technological societies collapse under their own hubris, and documented the final gasps of species who simply couldn't adapt fast enough to survive the cosmos's cruel indifference. Nothing, however, had prepared her for humanity. The warning came through standard diplomatic channels. A Class Thwyth extinction event was bearing down on Sol 3. The hegemony's deep space monitoring stations had detected it months ago, a rogue, magnetar spinning wildly off its predicted trajectory, spewing lethal radiation across 3 parsecs of space. Every inhabited world in its path had already begun evacuation procedures. Entire civilizations were packing up millennia of culture and history, preparing for the greatest exodus in galactic memory. All except the humans. They refused to evacuate? Zixthala's mandibles clicked in disbelief as she reviewed the report. Aboard her diplomatic vessel, the Harmony's Edge. Her aide, a nervous Kethmori named Vel, nodded solemnly. The human government, they call it the United Nations, issued a statement yesterday. They acknowledged the threat but declared their intention to weather the storm, as they put it. Zixthala felt her chromatophores shift to a deep purple, the meridian equivalent of a migraine. Do they not understand? This isn't a solar flare or a minor asteroid impact. The radiation burst will strip their atmosphere clean. Their magnetic field will collapse, the very air will burn. Perhaps, Vel suggested hesitantly, they lack the technology for mass evacuation. Their civilization is barely 3 centuries old. Most species don't develop interstellar capability until... No, Zixthala cut him off, pulling up the latest intelligence files. They have the technology. Crude, yes, but functional. They've built generation ships, established colonies. On 17 worlds, they could evacuate their entire population if they chose to. She paused, studying the data streaming across her display. They're not leaving because they don't want to leave. The Harmony's Edge dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system 3 days before the magnetar's radiation wave was due to arrive. What Zixthala saw defied every model of rational behavior her species had developed over the centuries. Earth wasn't preparing to die, it was preparing to fight. Massive orbital platforms bristled with energy shields that shouldn't have been possible with human technology. The planet's magnetic field generators, devices that by all rights should have taken them centuries to develop, hummed with barely contained power. In the asteroid belt, swarms of automated drones worked around the clock, constructing what appeared to be a deflector array the size of a small moon. But it was the humans themselves that truly bewildered her. Ambassador, her communications officer announced, we're receiving a transmission from the planetary surface. The hologram that materialized showed a middle-aged human female in what appeared to be military dress. She had graying hair, tired eyes, and a smile that somehow managed to be both welcoming and terrifying. Ambassador Zixthala, I presume? I'm General Sarah Chen, Earth Defense Coordinator. Welcome to the neighborhood. Sorry about the mess, we're doing a bit of redecorating. General Chen, Zixthala began carefully, I'm here on behalf of the Galactic Refugee Assistance Council. We have transport ships standing by to evacuate your population. The magnetar's radiation wave will reach your system in 72 hours. Chen's smile widened. That's very kind of you, Ambassador. But we'll be staying put. Tuesday's always been a busy day for us anyway. Tuesday? The day the wave hits. Our meteorology department confirmed it. Definitely a Tuesday. We've got too much to do to let a little radiation ruin our weekly schedule. Zixthala felt her chromatophores cycle through several colors of confusion. General, I don't think... You understand the severity? Oh, we understand perfectly. Chen gestured, and the hologram expanded to show a global map dotted with thousands of installations. Frankly, Ambassador, we've been expecting something like this. It's not our first extinction-level event, and it probably won't be our last. Not your first? Asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, ice ages, plague outbreaks, nuclear warfare. We've had quite a run. Did you know we had a 90% population die off about 74,000 years ago? Reduced to maybe 10,000 individuals. Yet here we are. Chen shrugged as if discussing the weather. Humans don't really do extinction well. Over the next 3 days, Zixthala watched in fascination as humanity did the impossible. When their orbital shields proved insufficient, they didn't despair, they improvised. Mining ships became makeshift deflector satellites. Civilian spacecraft formed protective barriers around population centers. Scientists worked 30-hour shifts, not to find ways to escape, but to find ways to endure. The radiation wave hit on Tuesday at 14:32 GMT. Zixthala watched from her ship's observation deck as the lethal energy slammed into Earth's defenses. Shields blazed and failed. The improvised deflector array cracked under the strain. The planet's magnetic field fluctuated wildly, and humanity held. Not perfectly. Several coastal cities lost power, and the northern hemisphere experienced widespread aurora displays that would have been beautiful if they weren't signs of atmospheric damage. But the planet survived. The atmosphere held. The magnetic field stabilized. By Wednesday morning, Earth was already broadcasting on standard frequencies again. "Ambassador?" It was Chen's voice, cheerful as ever. "Sorry about the radio silence. We were a bit busy yesterday. How does lunch sound? I'd love to show you what we did with that deflector array. Turns out it makes a fantastic deep space communications relay." Zixthala stared at the blue-green world below, its continents wreathed in clouds that should have been stripped away by the cosmic wind. Her aide, Vel, stood beside her in stunned silence. "Ambassador," he finally whispered. What are they?" Zixthala considered the question. In her 3 centuries of diplomatic service, she had learned to categorize species efficiently: the builders, the explorers, the mystics, the warriors. Humanity didn't fit any of her neat categories. They were something else entirely. "Survivors," she said finally. "They're survivors." On the planet below, 8 billion humans went about their Wednesday routines, probably already forgetting that they had just casually defied cosmic extinction. Traffic flowed, children went to school, and somewhere someone was undoubtedly complaining about the weather. Zixthala made a mental note to update the galactic databases. Next to the entry for Homo sapiens, she would add a single word of caution for future diplomats. Unpredictable. After all, any species that could survive the end of civilization and call it Tuesday was clearly not bound by conventional rules of behavior. She rather liked them for it.